And hello, welcome YouTube to this video. And in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about Git. Alright, what is Git? Well, if you take a look in the last videos, we've been doing quite a fair bit of work on our web page. And let's say, yeah, we are happy, we saved it, but suddenly the computer crashes. Okay, and the computer's really gone. There's no way to retrieve the data. What do? Okay, so I like to often use a cloud storage. There's like Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, whatever drive you want. Of course, though the thing with those solutions is that limited storage, right? Okay. So what other forms of cloud storage do programmers like to use? Okay. The way I like to think about cloud storage, as in so-called cloud storage for software and saving backups, okay, is with the use of Git. Okay, what is Git? Well, let me introduce to you. Okay, so this is something like what I was trying to explain. This is a simple diagram. So let me maybe I'll just delete and start from scratch. It's better. So let's say you have your local files here, your files in your local directory. You have files, okay, and let's say you have your web page files all here, right? And then of course you want to sort of save them on cloud, but you can use Git also to create backups. Git can create backups, otherwise known as repositories. Okay, repositories or repos for short. Alright, Git backups are known as repos for short. Okay, and of course Git does a lot more than just make backups. That is something called version control, but you don't need to know that just yet. I'm just using Git for a very simple case. Okay, so Git actually does make a backup of your files, okay, or a local repository, which is also another name for backup. So if I want to backup my files, Git will actually make a local backup of your files, which you can it's an additional step of saving, so to speak. Alright, so these are all under a .git folder. Okay, and this is your local backup file. Okay, it is a hidden folder, and Git will help you to so-called have a local backup of your files every time you save it to Git. And then what you can do is, of course, access cloud storage. So there's a local repo, which is a local backup of your file. You can also have a cloud repo. I'm writing everything backwards. Cloud repo, which is a cloud repository, a cloud backup of all your files. So this is also another thing, and this is where GitHub comes in. So you can see why I think of GitHub or GitLab or whatever Git. These are cloud storage, so-called, for my files. So Git is very thorough when it comes to programming. So once you save your files here, you can save them to your local backup in Git, and that's a two-step solution, a two-step way of having backups, so that if somehow you mess up something in your files, you can always restore it from your backup using the local repository. Okay, so if you mess up something, you can set it, get it back from your local repository. So that's how I like to use Git. And now, of course, you can save the local repository up into the cloud, and that's with the use of GitHub. So how do you? So let's start out how we are supposed to get Git. Okay, usually you go to add or remove software, and then you can go to Git. Okay, you search for Git, and this is where you should install Git from the App Store. So I already installed it because I use it so often, but you should install it as well. Okay, and if you're not sure what to do, how to install it, just type in pamac install Git. Okay, pamac install Git. What does it do? Pamac is actually the App Store over here. Yeah, pamac is the install this whole web store over here. This is the graphical user interface version, but you can also access the App Store pamac through command line. So the command is pamac, and if you type pamac, you will be able to see a lot of things over here. So for example, pamac install, pamac search, pamac list. So if you're not sure how to use pamac, you can just type pamac, and then this help will show up. Okay, so the thing to install Git is you just use pamac install Git. Okay, now clear it up. If you're not sure which package or file to install, you can use pamac search, and you can go and look for pamac search git or whatever file you want. Alright, and then you will be shown all of this, and you can see that the name here to install it is called git. Well, if you want to look for other applications, you can look for pamac search app, whatever application you want. It could be a drawing application, maths application. You can even look for OpenFOAM. Okay, and you will see a list of OpenFOAM things over here, and yeah, that's it. Alright, so that's how you use pamac. And I think last video I didn't really specify how to use copy properly. So the copy command, if I were to reiterate again, reiterate. So I want to say again, the way to use copy is to use cp-ar. I like to use cp-ar so that it can copy files, folders, anything. So if I want to copy this file shared, and then I want to copy into a new folder, okay, I will type in shared first. This is the file I want to copy, and then I will put new folder here. So cp-ar shared new folder will make a new folder here with the contents of whatever is inside the shared folder. And if I want to delete, rm-rf new folder, and that will delete the entire folder for you. Okay, so practice this a few times. cp-ar, what is the file you want to copy, and then what is the new file or folder you want to copy it to. Alright, so that's how you use the cp-ar command. Now let's talk about how to get a new repository, a new cloud backup, so to speak. Let's make a new repository here. Okay, so they will guide you through the setup, and you can just type in this I'll call this .NET Core YouTube. Okay, .NET Core YouTube. You can make a description here. This is a repository for .NET Core YouTube. I am for web pages, of course. And then you can add a readme file, a git ignore and license. Good to have, not necessary, especially when you have a first repository. So just make the repository. And it's kind of wonky. Let me reload. Okay, you'll be brought to this page, and yeah, this is the GitHub page, which I can use for the YouTube videos, and I can store all the web pages I save onto here, and you guys will be able to access it because I set the privacy settings to public. All right. So how do I what did I just do? I just made the cloud repository on GitHub. Okay, I just did this step already. I made the cloud repository on GitHub. Now let me make the local repository. Okay, this is step 1, and this is step 2. Okay, so you need to make your own GitHub account and whatever, then make the new cloud repository. So let's do step 2, which is to make the local repository. Okay, so how do we make a local repository? Okay, in the GitHub page, you will see this thing called code, and then you will be able to clone the GitHub repository. So what we are supposed to do is to make a copy of this GitHub repository, or else use the word clone. So go to code, copy this HTML page, and then of course there's this copy thing here. You can also copy this thing here, this the web address. You can copy this web address, and then of course come back to here, And then well, go to a place where you have here. Maybe you want to make a new folder where you have your GitHub repository. So I use this command called git clone, which does what it says. Okay, so it's over here, git clone, and then you put https github.com, that's my username, and then .net core youtube.git. Okay, so git clone this, and then we'll do that, and this is step 2 done. Step 2 is to make the local repository. So we just did that. Okay, where are the local files? Where are the local files installed? They are put inside this .git folder. So go to .net core YouTube, and then you'll see the readme file here, and that's all you see. But that is not all that is there. Okay, the .git, the reason why there's a dot down there is because dot files in Linux are hidden. So to view hidden files, just type lsal. Okay, or maybe just type ls-a, ls-a, and you will see a few directories. Okay, one is the dot directory. The dot directory represents this folder. The dot directory represents one folder up. That's why when you do cd dot, you go literally one folder up. Okay. Okay. And then let's type ls-a, and then you see the .git file. Okay. The .git file is where your local backups are saved. They will have a lot of things here. Don't mess with it. Don't need to know what it is. Just need to know it is there. All right. And now, what do I want to do? I want to save my local copy of files into this local repository, the .git. So how do we do it? Okay, so go up one folder. Okay, and then what do I want to do? I want to take this .NET test and I want to copy it into the .NET Core YouTube. So cpar .NET test, and then I want to put it here in the .NET Core YouTube. So I can just paste the directory like so, .NET Core YouTube, and then I want to paste this .NET test into .NET Core YouTube, and I want to paste it there. So .NET Core YouTube / dot will copy this entire folder and paste it into this folder here. So that's what it will do. And let's go to .NET Core YouTube, and we will have our .NET test here. So that just places the file in the same folder as the .git directory. So ls-a, you'll see .NET test and git. Now they are in the same directory. Okay, so we now want to save our .NET test into the git directory here. How do we do it? Okay, 2 steps. Okay, git add. Okay, git add .NET test. All right, git add .NET test. So when we say git add .NET test, we are adding this entire folder for tracking purposes into the git directory. So this is part 1 of adding the file and saving it into the git repository. Right. However, git does give you so-called two chances. Okay, because what you don't really want to save your files to your local repository unless you are really sure. Okay, what if you are really sure you want to save all your files and they are working and all that? You will use this thing called git commit. Okay, you will use the term git commit. And what does git commit do? Git commit do literally so-called finalizes the saving step into the local repository. Okay, so you have to save it into your local repository by typing a commit. The -m here stands for a message. Okay, you can save this thing here with a message. You can type this thing here called first commit with .NET test page. So that every time you save a new version of your files into your local repository, all right, you will know what was going on when you saved that. Okay, what was going on. So this is the first commit, because this is called git commit. So it's the first commit with the .NET test page. Okay, so there are two steps to saving. One is that you add the files that you want to save. Okay, and then second, you commit those changes, and that will save it into your local repository. All right, so if everything's successful, you will see this all this thing here, changes, blah blah blah, and then of course I want to clear. And now what I have just done is to save the local files into the local repository. So the .git repository here will contain the files that are here. So what's the use of this, you might ask? All right. Okay, so let's say I accidentally delete .NET test. Okay, I accidentally delete .NET test. I was like, oh no, what do I do? Okay, so if you want to restore your files from the local repository, okay, if let's say your files are somehow deleted or corrupted, and then somehow you have a local copy inside your backup, you can use this thing called git reset, and then you can type in --hard. What will this do? This will actually restore your entire backup copy here. Is that pretty neat, right? So it's a way of backing up all your files, and everything is there. Okay, cd.net test, and then you see everything is over here, the program.cs, the pages and everything. So let's go to cd pages, and look, everything is there. If I remove index star index cs_html star, and then oh no, my index is gone, what do I do? Use git reset --hard, and then suddenly my index is back. So again, remove the index cs_html star, and then oh no, what do I do? Okay, remember, git reset hard. Okay, of course there are more professional ways of doing it, but since I'm introducing it to you and I'm saying git is a great way to back up your files, I'm showing you how to pull the backup straight from your local repository. So what have I just done? We have saved it into the local files, and we are able to use this git reset hard to ensure that your local files here are restored, and then you can start playing with them again. Okay, so step that is we have made the cloud repo, we have made a local repo, we have saved files into the local repo. That's step 3, and everything here is getting messy. Let's delete this files thing. Okay, so what have we done? Alright, so let's just do a quick recap. And let me change the color. Yeah. So 1, we have made cloud repo on GitHub. Okay, number 2, we made a local repo, local repository. 3, we have saved files into local repo. Number 4, we have not only saved files, we have restored files from local repo. Okay, so that's a fair bit to learn. I haven't shown you how to push it to cloud. You have to push it to cloud. So you need to save it to the cloud. So what does saving to the cloud do? Okay, saving to the cloud actually, well, you have your local.git file, right? Okay, go up, and then you use ls-a, you will see your .git file here, and then you want to save it to your online, right? Online repository. So what do you need to do now? You have your local, you have your local.git, you need to save it to online.git. your online repository. Online also you will have a .git folder, or pretty much, yeah, online repository, whatever sort of. Okay, I don't know whether there's an actual .git file there. There may or may not, but yeah, you're actually saving all of this information. Yeah, I think it should be online. Yeah, it should be online. This .git file should be online. But yeah, it will, all this information in the .git file will be saved online, and you will be able to access it from your online repository. And then how do you do it? Okay, the way to do it is with git push. All right, git push. Okay, I have my repository set up already, but in case you do not, there are specific steps you must take in order to set up your repository. They'll ask you to fill in your GitHub username. They'll ask you to fill in your email, stuff like that. Okay, there are some steps you need to take, but usually they will be pretty okay if you all the settings you need for git push will be sort of preset if you need to so-called if you clone it from GitHub. A lot of the settings are configured for you. Yeah, if you clone it already, the settings are set for you. They'll just probably ask you for your username and email or something. So just fill those in and you should be good to go. Alright. So yeah, git push, and then you need to type in your username and password, which I will not show you, so I will skip this part. And of course GitHub will sort of make it a bit difficult because they require you to set up two-factor authentication or give you a personal access token or something like that. That's another topic I will not cover here. Okay, but supposedly if you know how to set that up, yeah, this is how you do it. If you're not sure how to do this personal access token thingy, I suggest you go try the same thing within GitLab. Okay, GitLab doesn't do this messy thing yet, but it's good for you to learn how to get this personal access token set up, so that you get the hang of using GitHub in general. Okay, right, so let's go to our repository. Okay, let's go to our repository here. Now let's say we reload, because I just did a git push. Our .NET test will be up here, and you can see all the things are here, including our pages. We have our test page. Everything is over here. Very nice. Okay, if you're ever not happy with this repository and you want to delete it, okay, go to settings in GitHub, go all the way down. You will be able to see a few things inside this thing called danger zone. Okay, because if let's say you have 5 years of work saved into your repository, you do not want to suddenly do any of these changes lightly. For example, you don't want to just delete the thing, right? So if you really want to delete it, you can select delete this repository, and then you ask you, are you absolutely sure? Okay, of course I don't want to delete it, but I'm just showing you where the delete button is in case you needed to delete your own repository. Okay, so this is the this is how you set things up with GitHub. Okay, I hope this is helpful for you, and I hope this has introduced you to some things about Git. Okay, it will need a lot more practice. This is very introductory. You will need to practice it a lot yourself, and I will be using Git a lot in the next few videos, because I have a very I feel this habit of saving is very, very important. Okay, so yeah, do save your backups, do backup your files often, and use Git wherever possible. Okay, thanks for watching.